Calling to order the Cuyahoga County Committee of the Whole for Tuesday, January the 14th, 2020. Clerk, please call the roll.
Calling the roll, Ms. Baker. Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Tuma.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher. Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Ms. Conwell is absent at the moment. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Brown. Here. Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Ms. Simon. Ms. Simon is absent at the moment. And Council President Brady.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Public comment?
Yes, Mr. President. Ms. Liu.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year, everybody. Because of the time limit I have, so I couldn't send the documents earlier, but you all have received PDF files with certain photos on it. And this particular one is like a report. The first one you will see actually is the day when I came here, the last meeting in December 2019, I made a particular statement. It still holds true, so I'm not taking that back. This picture, the first picture, is the dinner I received that day. The interesting story is the person retaliated me, saying I should not have any food. That's because we found out that's because she lies to newer workers, saying I have been in the building whole day. So I'm not a worker, or I'm not in any kind of emergency business, so I should not have the food. So when a good staff worker calling her for permission to give me the food, she actually avoided. She did not answer the page. More than once, more than twice. Eventually, she answered reluctantly, yes. Yes, when everybody heard the story, I think everybody worrying about me being starved to death. But actually, the situation is you can be retaliated to death. At this place, I have been physically assaulted in my sleep during the night. I have been physically assaulted by people staying there and by the people working there. The staff assault, that was during frontline's time. The grievance never got resolved. At the same time, there are lots of people getting my situation. Some could be even worse. Some could be slightly better. As long as to this particular person, one of the most interesting retaliations she did on people, I will give you this particular story. A white girl, I will name her ABC here. Her black spouse, they are lesbian spouse to each other. The other one is black, I use XYZ. XYZ had a problem at work, so when she went to emergency room, hospital called ABC because she's the emergency contact. So both of them couldn't come back in time for dinner. By the time they came back, it was a third shift time, so this Connie Greer had a chance to refuse them food. However, once they found out they still had that discharge paper from the emergency room, she reluctantly granted the black person, XYZ, the food. ABC, as a white person, she actually has lots of food allergy, so she has a permission to eat her own food. Unfortunately, Connie Greer denied her own food, not shelter food. This is what the reality we actually have every day, since the frontline time till now. Because unfortunately, YWCA also hired the wrong kind of people. Thank you.
No, Mr. President.
All righty. Well, we have several issues for executive session today. All meetings of the Cuyahoga County Council are open to the public under the Ohio Open Meeting Laws. Under that law, council may go into executive session during a meeting For specifically authorized purposes during executive session, council confers outside of the hearing of the public. Council may not make any decisions about any matters in executive session. All decisions are made in public. This afternoon, the council will go into executive session to discuss collective bargaining matters and pending or imminent litigation. During this time, our live stream will be down. We ask all those not needed for the executive session to remain in the council chambers. Council members will convene in the adjacent committee room A and will re-enter the meeting once the executive session is ended. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of discussing collective bargaining matters and pending or imminent litigation?
I so move.
Been moved and seconded. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Moving to executive session, Ms. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Tuma?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher? Mr. Schron?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Stevens?
Yes.
And Ms. Simon?
Yes.
And Council President Brady?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. We'll take 5 minutes before we start the regular meeting.